Hello, one and all. Welcome to Funkatopia Live. Man, I tell you, it's been we were planning on taking the day off, but the problem is that I'm not actually going to be in I'm not going to be in town that first week of April, so we're having to take that week off. It just dawned on me in between these two shows, so I figured we'd do another news explosion and whatever, and just kind of hang out and whatnot, and just hang out with all you fine folks just for a little bit. We got news to talk about, and so it's going to be really really cool, just laid back, no real prep or anything like that, just kind of just chilling. So don't feel you know you know don't feel pressured to hang out. We're gonna have a good time, and got lots of different things to talk about, man. I just one of the things that I don't mean to share this yet, but I'm pulling some stuff up, just kind of prepping a little bit, and just wanted to say hello to everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. It is Tuesdays. I know a lot of people don't like to do Tuesdays. I mean, to bypass Tuesdays, it's just without doing a show. That's just, I know it's tough, but it's okay. We'll be here today, and then we'll be there next Tuesday, and then we will be, and then that first week of April will be off. Susan, hello. Kiaria, hello. Shelby, hello. Susie, hello. Veronica, hello. Jasmine, hello. Audrey, what's going on, man? And obviously, we're going to open it up. Carmen, hello from Jacksonville. Yeah, make sure you name your spot, because we definitely want to make sure that we kind of see where everybody's at. And yeah, so a lot of people, here's the thing. Leanne says, is the app down, offline, or out of commission? If you do not have the app right now, if you still have the Funked Up app, which is it's the app with this logo on it right here, you have the old app. So what you need to do is you need to go to the Google Play Store or to the Apple Store and download the newest version of the app. That's all you got to do. Download the newest version of the app, and I can tell you that it is a completely 100% different experience. You will have not one but two radio stations, a whole shebang. So it's going to be very very cool. So there's lots of folks here who will tell you that the new app is vastly different from the old one. How you doing, Sean from the UK? What's going on? Hello, Purple Dove 7 in the house. Jaden decided to make a stop in and say hello. Ronlin, hello. Trish from South Dakota. Obviously, we know Trish. Ronlin's in the house from Maryland. And we already said hello to Audrey and Jasmine from Vegas. Yes, Eddie's in the house. Revolution 86. Terry, what's going on? Mariah, hello. Shadow, what's going on? Kiaria, hello. John Wesley, what's up? John Wesley from San Fran. Greg Brown, you're hello. Oh, wait, we got so again, if you're experiencing the app being quote unquote out of commission, it's not out of commission. We just have a brand new app. It's a brand new app. It will be changing names. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But we got a brand new app. We have a 24/7 Prince radio station now. We also have the Funked Up app that you all know and love. But if you're experiencing downtime with your current app, that is why. So you need to make sure that you update the app for sure. Jeff Paige is in the house. Oh, nope, he was in the house. Now he's gone. I literally just clicked him and then he disappeared. It's all good. It's fine. Mariah is in town from Jersey. What's going on from Jersey? I'm from Jersey. You from Jersey? I'm from Jersey. A lot of people don't know that. Yes, I was born in New Jersey. I was born in the middle of New Jersey in Hunterdon County, which is it's Flemington, New Jersey, which is really smack in the middle. Kind of New Jersey is kind of shaped like a chicken leg. I don't know. It's in the corner there. Kiaria, what's going on? Twin Cities. I already said hello. And John Wesley's in the house. Carrie, what's going on? Cammy, of course. Hello, Cammy. Hello, 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 hello. Leanna Lee is calling from Los Angeles and the Philippines. How you can't be from both. Where are you at right now, Leanna? That's those two places are very, very far apart. Artie says, love, love, love the new app. Yeah, if you still have the app that has this old logo on it, you have the old app. The new logo is totally different. The new logo looks like, and I'm trying to the new logo looks like that. That is the new app. You can kind of see, I'm trying to get it to focus on here. Well, but this is the new app, and you have 2 radio stations, plus you have a bunch of other things to choose from, and there's a bunch of different things that are on there as well as that. So there's tons of stuff going on too. Laura sent from California. Shelby's coming from Kentucky. Obviously, April from Tampa. Hello, April. How are you? Nashville in the house. And Kemi says, hey, Jay. Jaden stops in every now and then. This is my youngest. She likes to come and hang out every now and then. And anyways, yeah. And here this is one of the things too. Tonight is kind of a free for all. I have like some bullets that we will obviously talk about, some bullets and whatnot that probably about 10 different things we'll talk about. But I want to make sure that we kind of open up the floodgates. If you have any questions about anything specific, just go ahead and ask them. If I know the answers, I'll Adrian says, I heard no releases will be made until the Netflix documentary comes out. Is that true? That is not true. I do know of, well, it depends on what you're considering releases, because it may be true, but what I do know is that there's still a lot of stuff that's coming out for Record Store Day. There's like the gold vinyl that's coming out for, there's like a bunch of different things that are little tidbits and whatnot that are coming out, but I don't know if those necessarily qualify for releases for you or not. And there's still a rumor mill going on. The rumor mill was shut down regarding the Parade Super Deluxe Edition. That rumor was shut down. Apparently, well, that was shut down by an individual, but it still is supposedly really, I don't know. Adios. It's still out there. I don't know. The one says apparently a concert DVD CD set is set to release in June. I believe that, and I believe that firmly. Jeff, you're back. Are you here for real? Let's see. I can see you.
Hey guys.
I'm seeing a black screen. Okay, yeah. You seem to be like low res. Are you like? What's up, man?
I don't know, man. I guess the technology hates me today.
Yes, I know. It's technology is it's it is what it is. Yes, Carrie says, love the new app. Yes, the new app is awesome. It is awesome. Naomi happened to notice that it's an Ender Sherry t-shirt. It's not actually an Ender Sherry t-shirt. It's actually a Funkatopia shirt with an Ender Sherry logo on it. Ender Carey. Why do I keep saying Ender Sherry? It's because of that Ford magazine. I think that's why I say that. Ender Carey. Yeah, but we're going to be talking about Ender Carey as well, because let me tell you something. I've become a really big hardcore fan for sure, because I have all 3 of the CDs here, all 3 of them. I've listened to all of them. I'm still in the middle of this one here. I think it's still going here. Yeah, I can only play a little bit because then they'll kick us off. I don't want to be kicked off too early. But yeah, so we talked about this, and we'll talk about it in a minute. Not in a minute. We gotta kind of let things flow just a little bit. Yes, no, it's an Ender Carey logo. on the Funkatopia shirt. What I'd like to do, this is from the Love Faders album, which is from 2018. So I would love to be able to get a, I don't know, maybe put this logo on like a white T-shirt. But I'm sure they have other type of Enter Carry merch. They've got to have Enter Carry merch, don't they? I know they do. It's just very difficult to get anything stateside. I was so thrilled to get these 3 CDs stateside. I can't even. Not only that, but I got this.
You were super giddy too. You were super giddy.
Oh man, I tell you what. And also, there's a second one, a second Ender Carry sticker, and a Love Faders file folder as well.
I don't know how many people, man, have seen you get super giddy and bouncy, but you were giddy and bouncy, man. You were like,
because I only heard, and I have the one CD that only has, it's like an EP. It has like 5 songs on it or whatever. So I know what those are, but to get like the full album experience from front to back, it was just.
Yeah, when you sent
me, my God, dude,
let me hear a couple of those songs, I was blown away too. I was like, wow, this is
there's so much stuff here. I can't even
murders what we've already heard. Like it's not going in the wrong direction. It's like
let's see who else is here. Audrey is here from the 404. Hey, what's up?
What up?
We will be talking a little bit about that movement as well. We're going to be talking about that, whether or not that's good, whether or not that's bad. Most of you folks here do not care about sports whatsoever. I understand. I totally get it.
Talk about it.
I feel you. I get it. Anyways, so man, we got tons of people here.
It's awesome.
Shelby says she has a new app. Was it Shelby that said? Who was complaining that the app was down? The app's not down, is it?
I don't think that was Shelby. I kind of missed that. I might have come late.
Yeah, I don't think that was Shelby either. Let's see. Oh, it's on D&D. It's playing Neurotic Lover's Bedroom right now.
The app is
on the 24/7 radio station. It's playing Neurotic Lover's Bedroom right now. Let's see if the Funked Up app is working. The app's working.
That is awesome, man.
The app is working. Yes, 2 radio stations in one app. It's amazing, for sure. So yes, Oh, I'm hearing myself loud again.
Are you really?
Yeah, you just got really loud, and then all of a sudden I could hear myself. But now it's and of course yes, it's off now. Andre's in the house. Jasmine wants to know, am I headed to Minnesota in April? No. I would like to go, but the problem is that once again, I am out of town from the April 2nd to April 9th on a trip with the fam, and I am not going to be able to then come back in town for a week and then go back out again. I would love to go. But it's just I just don't see it in the cards unless something happens and I can somehow afford it and figure out the time off and do all that. It's just enough. It's just too much.
There's so many people. It's awesome. Everybody's.
I know it's.
Hi, everybody.
Are you gonna go, Jeff? Are you going? We have to go together, man.
We have to go together. I'm not gonna make it either.
Well,
unfortunately,
maybe in June when the weather is definitely a bit better. April is always kind of a weird time.
Yes.
A lot of people have asked about. We have not talked about this, but it is in the cards to talk about later on in the show. We're going to talk about April 22nd. Which is not April 22nd, April 21st. I'm sorry, April 21st is the 6-year anniversary of Prince's passing. 6 years. of his passing. And we will be doing something special. Something's in the cards for sure. I don't know what it will do. We'll do some kind of event. Maybe it will be via the app. Maybe it will be all around, maybe event. I don't know. But it's going to be, Carrie said she's going to be in there 420 to 423. Says
420.
420. Liv Warfield is sold out at Paisley Park, and rightfully so, deservedly so, for sure.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah, I know. And Jasmine's like, boo. Yeah, I know. But I would like to come, but it's the reality is I just have to think about the. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I understand that people are going there and hanging out and whatnot, but I'm not exactly sure or clear. Obviously, it's to be there for the anniversary of his passing, but there's not a whole bunch going on there. Right. So if I go up to Minneapolis, there has to be a bunch of things that are going on. It's
yeah, absolutely.
Asked if I ever thought of doing a special from Paisley Park in June on his birthday. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
I mean, that's more realistic. That's Eddie, by the way, Revolution 86. If we could plan something and like schedule some type of get together, Rob Rhythm and myself, we actually went up there last April, I believe it was April, on the 5-year anniversary of his passing, and Funkatopia sponsored a candlelight vigil at Riley Creek Park Tunnel, and we had tons of people there. I wish I had photos ready of the video. I didn't know we were going to be talking about that, but I guess I probably should have, because Paisley Park celebration and the possibility of a celebration is obviously not in the cards for Paisley Park at all, because of the fact that, first off, obviously we're less than a month away from the 21st, which is the 6-year anniversary of his passing. And then in June, that's less than 90 days away. And there's no way that they can schedule a celebration in under 90 days and consider people from all over the country to come in. Right. Not that they would not plan an event there, but I just don't see it happening. Kiara says she was at the Candlelight Vigil last year, and it was fun, wasn't it? It was a lot of fun. I got an opportunity to stand up there and do a little bit of speech. We had the mayor of Chanhassen there as well. Also, Chaz, Prince's cousin, was there. He did a speech, so it was very, very cool. And there was a lot of people there. I did not anticipate that many people. I was kind of surprised. I thought maybe a dozen people are going to show up for this and it'll be a little small event, but there was just like people everywhere. So it was very, very cool. So if you guys would like for Jeff Paige and myself to go up to Minneapolis in June for his birthday and want to do something, maybe thinking about doing something, we'll just look at the calendar and see if we can make it happen. And if you guys are interested in doing it, then we'll be
there's possibility. Always leave it on the table as a possibility.
Absolutely. The one still holding out hope for a celebration. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. It's just too late. It's just not. It's not possible. It's too late for this to happen right now, because it's just too late for it to happen. You have to be able to. First off, here's what I think the issue is. I guess we'll move this to the top.
Let's just stay on.
Yeah, let's just stay on this topic. We'll move it up to the top. But basically, what's going on with Paisley Park is that normally they've had celebrations every single year since his passing, with the exception of the first year, and it was a lot of fun. They were doing celebrations since 2000. I mean, Prince did it when he was with us. And I just think that it got to a point where they had kind of tapped the well, so to speak. I think they just kind of got to the point where they had already had pretty much every single band that had crossed paths with Prince or that was part of the Purple Circle, everybody from the Family to NPG to the Revolution to, the Family, which was F Deluxe.
Right.
I mean, Jesse Johnson was there, Morrissey at the time. Everybody's played there. So I think it's kind of one of those scenarios where they know that they've kind of tapped the well, and I think that they're kind of holding back on some of their. They know that they have to do something drastically different. They know that they know they have to do something drastically different in order to make this work. They are fully aware of this, but I just don't think they can pull it together. I think we're still, even though people are claiming this is post-pandemic, we're still in a place where people are a little bit wigged out.
Yeah.
You still can't go into the grocery store and somebody coughs and you're
mixed phase. We may not be the pandemic, but we're in the demic for sure. So I don't think it's one of those things that they'll do either. But the beauty of it is you keep saying time, and time is the issue. They know they're tapped out, so it would make sense for them to hold out, rebuild, get that attention, and get that draw again, and then do it. So instead of every year or something, just wait a little bit and make everybody get that anticipation up. I think it's a smarter move, anyways.
Yeah, I think the issue with I don't know. I think the issue that ends up happening is that they've had 2020 to gather their senses and figure stuff out. They're going, okay, we got a little bit of a reprieve. Mother Nature gave us a reprieve. Let's figure this out. And then they kind of stretched it into 2021. So now they've had 2 years to kind of figure everything out. Right. And then they've had a bunch of staffing changes that were there. Directors and stuff moving out, new folks coming in. And now here we are in 2022. We are less than a month away from the anniversary, which was one of the times they would do the celebration. Mm-hmm. And they typically like to move the celebration to June for his birthday, even though Prince asked us to celebrate his passing and not his birthday because he didn't count birthdays. June was still way better for a lot of people because there was less of a risk of snow in Minneapolis. In Minneapolis, sometimes it snows in April is not just
right. It's real.
It's like probable. It's not like Georgia where it's sometimes it's probable that it could happen. I don't know what the weather is up there now, but it's 3 times out of 5 it's probably going to snow in Minneapolis or just a dusting or something. And of course you got people from all over the world coming in. So they typically like to move it to June. Kemi brings up a very, very, oops, sorry, it's clicked on the wrong one. Kemi brings up a really, really good point that the prices for the celebration really need to be lowered. This is something else that they needed to figure out as well, because it was a 3-day event, and the 3-day event would normally include a live band they would have 2 or 3 tracks, depending on how many people they would have. And they would have a live band that would be performing every day of this. So that band would have to play a shortened, revised little small concert. You would normally want to be on the track that was later at night because that would be a longer show.
Right.
So you had that. So I think what needs to happen now, and going back to the cost thing, and the pricing was really high. I'm trying to remember for the low end, if I remember correctly, it was like $700-800.
I think that's right.
It was like $700-800 on the low end. If you wanted to be a VIP, it was like over $1,000. And there really wasn't a whole bunch of advantages to VIP. You got to actually meet some of the people that performed. So that's a good thing. But the reality of it is when you're at the celebration, a lot of those people that performed and a lot of those bands and whatnot that performed, they were normally performing in other places all around town and hanging out very actively all around town. You could go to Perkins Pancake House at like, at one of the gatherings that they would have there, and Ingrid Chavez would walk in, or Paul Peterson would walk in, or all these people would walk in, and you get to hang out with them, you get to talk, you get to chill, and so that it was real. But the other thing too was that you actually got food, to do like a buffet every now and then. If you were a VIP, you got to sit up front for the shows, but the area that they had seating up front was like the seating was like almost to the count. So if there was like 100 people that were, this is just a number. If there was 100 people that were VIP, there were 100 seats. So you were like, sit. So you were like right up on top of each other. So it wasn't a whole comfortable experience. It was, you kind of felt like cramped, and you look back and the people that paid the lower amount, and they're all sitting there with their arms on the chairs on either side of them going, how's it up there? How's the show up? You're closer, but I'm way more comfortable. And so, and the food was vegetarian. So there was there's anything wrong with vegetarian food, but there was very, very limited menu selection that you had to choose from. Normally every now and then, I guess it was the VIP. Sometimes you got like some collectible items, and those were kind of cool, but yeah. And Cammie says what she remembers was 500 low end, and then the high was 1,000, and the top was 1,500 last year, which right. Yeah. So that's it. It's still a little expensive because, and Audrey said, yeah, it's a 4-day event. There was one time that was actually 3, but, and Audrey also said the pricing structure was fine. And while I agree that what you're getting is fine, the other part of this is that the people that are paying for this are paying that type of money are not the fair weather fans. And I get it. It's not designed for the fair weather fans.
Right.
But you've heard me say it on the show many, many times. Us hardcore Prince fans are in a bubble, absolutely right. In a bubble. And I can now, obviously, if you live in Minneapolis, or if you live in, some type of really big music hub like a Nashville or Austin, Texas, or someplace like that, you may run into, some hardcore Prince fans off and on, but it's pretty rare that I run into a Prince fan that's as hardcore as I am, or it's that, you say I'm a huge Prince fan. They're like, oh, that's right. Cool. Yeah. That's cool. So I don't know. That all being said, I think they have a lot of planning that they need to do. I think we have suggested this before. We have said that the best plan that Paisley Park can do is to establish a show that is going to be that's going to reach, that's still related to Prince, but is going to go beyond that, like a Janelle Monáe or right. a Shaka Khan, right. Or maybe a Shaka Khan and Larry Graham, or just like all these types of different types of other acts that I know Usher's way too big for this, but Usher's very much all these types of bands that were like really heavily engaged with Prince. Janelle was a perfect example. I mean, but some act like that's really going to draw people in for a variety of reasons, not just for, the Prince involvement, but also because Prince fans are also just hardcore music fans.
Exactly.
And I don't know, it just makes sense if they do that. I think it's just a logical, smart choice, and it's going to be difficult. I think it's really difficult for them to figure out who or find the right who. Does that make sense? Like somebody's got to. I'm sorry, Mariah.
Sorry, Mariah. She's like ag.
Paisley Park's like, take Christopher off the list. We're not. Let me just say, if you've never been to a celebration, celebrations are amazing. They are so much fun. It's full. It literally is a venue full of Prince fans who are nothing but just, it's nothing but love. It really is like a love fest.
It's family.
Yeah, it's family, and it's just so much fun. Everybody's hanging out, everybody's laughing, everybody's dancing, everybody's having a good time. Everybody's talking about experiences it's an awesome, awesome, awesome time. But there's a lot of folks that have been to these celebrations multiple times. I mean, many, 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 many times. It's a very, very different experience now that Prince is not there as the host of the event. You know, it's just, you gotta, yeah. Everybody's coming with those suggestions too. Perfect. Yeah. Alicia Keys, her, right. Lizzo. I'm seeing all of them. Yeah. So these are all great, fantastic ideas that I think that it could be. And you're right. It could be like a festival type of thing. It could still be a 4-day party, just like Jasmine said, where maybe you do have all these acts. You have like a festival type of thing where you have her and you have Lizzo and you have Janelle and you have Shaka Khan and you have all these bands. You have the Steels. It's all these bands that you just have in like this huge session. That would be a blast, absolutely. But again, there's planning and there's money, and it's just. I just don't know. I have no idea what's going on behind the walls of Paisley Park, but I do know it is one of these. It's a difficult process. I know that I've personally have put together multiple music festivals by myself. I've done 6 of them. A lot of people don't know this, but Funkatopia used to be a website called slabmusic.com, SLAB. It stood for Southern Local Area Bands. And the whole point of the website was to promote bands in the Southeast. And then I grew from Georgia to Georgia and all the states that touch it. So we did Alabama and Tennessee and Florida. And at least twice a year, a spring fling, and also one that was a little bit later on the year in the fall, I would have slab music festivals, and we would have them at the Hard Rock Cafe in downtown Atlanta. We'd have them at a variety of different venues, and we had lots of cool people coming in. John Mayer and Rehab was one of the bands. We had I keep saying we. I had lots of bands coming in on these festivals. I know everything that goes into these festivals. I know the planning, and when you start to get to inviting big bands, then what ends up happening is that these big bands, they want money, and then they have riders, and they have all these different things that they got to have, and I got to have this, and I got to have that. I got to have only green M&Ms in my. It just gets.
But at that point, if they do start doing that, then it justifies the price. That's where you go, okay, now I see why it costs that much. Now I see, because, we can't have both. We can't say bring out the big people and charge us even less. You know what I mean? But it's going to take some time to plan something like that at that level. And that's kind of why it's just this year versus next year is kind of like,
Yeah, Anne says she was at the celebration 2017, 18, and 19, as was I. All 3 are amazing. If never been before, please try it. Yes, it's fantastic. It's great. It's great. Andre seems obsessed with stripper websites and where's the closest strip club to Paisley Park. I don't know that.
I don't know. And you know what? I heard a report from last week. Sylvester came in my place because I was tied up and kind of was giving Andre the business. Andre was acting up a little bit. So, watch yourself, man.
Greg says that Jelly Bean is doing something in June. If Jelly Bean is doing something in June, then we may. I love Jelly Bean to death. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about Jelly Bean here in a second because something kind of popped up on Twitter today with Jelly Bean, and I want to talk a little bit about it. I just want to talk a little bit about it because I had some information from some folks that are really close to some of the scenario that's going on in Minneapolis with the Morris Day scenario, and some people that are, let's just say, there's a lot of stuff that's randomly going on that's going on the business side of things. in Minneapolis that are really causing a lot of hurt feelings and people that are just kind of really pissed off. And I don't blame them. I honestly don't blame them because we'll get to that. We'll get to that story in a second. But I know Trayvon said any talk about the next Super Deluxe set. As I had mentioned, just in kind of passing, we had been talking about the Parade Super Deluxe set that we had heard from a very, very reliable source that the Parade Super Deluxe was coming. And then I also heard from a very, very reliable source that it's not coming.
These reliable sources.
These two sources are very, very reliable. Normally, this one person that said it was coming were the same exact people that also said that same exact people that also called 1999, that also called Sign of the Times, also gave us access, immediate access to the whole track listing for Sign of the Times before it was even released. I mean, that's what our source was for that. And then that source just kind of fell off. So something changed with Parade. That something changed with the Parade thing. And most likely it had to do with that friggin' Under the Cherry Moon movie, because the Under the Cherry Moon movie is tied to that soundtrack. Right. And because of all the rights and everything that are going on with that, it's just, you know.
That's a lot to iron out for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Andre does bring up Diamonds and Pearls. We have also heard that there was rumor of a Super Deluxe, or you never know whether it's going to be deluxe or super deluxe, but there is some type of deluxe version of Diamonds and Pearls that is coming. And I did hear this year. I did hear that. But as we have here, we also have people that are also saying that that's not happening until the Netflix documentary comes, and that Paisley Park is just kind of going quiet for a minute, just to go quiet for a minute. You know, so trust me, we're keeping our ear to the ground. We will let you know as soon as we know something, but it's really, really, it's really, really a big mess right now, especially with everything that's going on with Comerica and the estate and everybody. They're trying to, you know, with all the rights being sold off and all the royalties being sold off, and, you know, the heirs selling off huge portions of their royalties over to, you know, it's just a mess. It's such a mess right now. And so they're all trying to work through all this stuff. And I get it. But we absolutely positively will give you news as soon as we get it. So surprisingly enough, with the exception of Paisley Park, we haven't even started with the news yet. What? or even the items that we were. Well, the Paisley Park thing was something that we were going to be talking about.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we will talk about is something that is annoying to me, like annoying to no end.
You want to fight?
I do want to fight. I want to fight. But I'm okay. George Clinton, an absolute legend. I met him. You guys have all heard the story of me and George backstage 100 times. I'm not going to tell it again. I've met George on multiple occasions. He's a great guy. Love sitting down with and talking with him. But George Clinton has had now 2 farewell tours. 2.
He won't stay down. Can't keep him down.
Well, and the first farewell tour that George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic had, I don't remember the year. It was like about 4 years ago, I guess, 3 or 4 years ago. And I brought my good friend Tony Halliburton, who was the bassist for a band that I played with a long, long time ago. And we had seats, and it was at the Cobb Energy Center up in Marietta, Georgia. And the sound was horrendous. It was so bad. And that was his farewell tour. But according to our good friend Garrett Scheider, which we're going to talk about here too, according to our good friend Garrett Scheider, who is obviously the legend, Mr. Scheider, Diaper Man, his son, they have no idea where that farewell tour came from with that particular tour. They never announced that that was a farewell tour, but somebody picked it up and erroneously put it out there in the press.
Ate it up.
And everybody ate it up, and it was like, oh, I guess it may have been in a boost to sell tickets.
Yeah.
But it was annoying because we got there, and of course, I was just like, well, at least I got to see, George on his final tour. So great. So imagine my surprise when not even a year later in 2019, George announces that he's going to be finally retiring, and he's doing a farewell tour in 2019. And it was called One Nation Under a Groove. And there was like a bunch of different bands that he had opening up. I think when he was at the Fox Theater in Atlanta, it was Fishbone, who Angelo's a friend of mine. I mean, I've shown pictures of me and Angelo. Fishbone was opening up. And then also, who else was there? I think it was what is the name of that band? Anyways, there was a couple bands that were opening up, Fishbone being one of them. But there was a whole bunch of bands that were opening during that, depending on the date. It was Dopapod, Pimps of Joy Time, the Motet, the Floozies, Soul Rebels, Fantastic Negrito, Carl Denson's Tiny Universe, Fishbone. It was just a bunch of different bands.
Right.
Anyways, so that was his final tour. And of course I was like, okay, you got me the first time. I'll go again. And this time definitely see his final tour since he's retiring. And of course, Angelo's playing with Fishbone. So I was like, all right, I'll go see Fishbone. And I'll see, George on his final show. It was great. It was the same show basically that we had seen, but with better sound. Stuff was falling from the roof on the Fox, something above the speaker, like the speaker was coming loose or something was happening, and like plaster was falling. And it was like, this is in the Fox Theater in Atlanta. The same place we saw Prince's 2 final shows. But anyways, it was a good show, but Angelo and I decided to hang out in the front and shoot shit and talk a little bit and hang out a little bit. So we were out there talking in the lobby and out front of the Fox. And so that was his final show. So I was like, all right, you know what? I've seen George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic. I don't even know how many times I've seen Parliament. I have no idea. So great. Now, apparently, George is coming out of retirement, starting a new tour with Dopapod and Pimps of Joy Time, starting on June 15th at Central Park in New York City.
So funny.
And it is going to be yet another tour that is going to be in, you can actually see this. I guess I could actually probably share this screen so you guys can see, but let me just go ahead and tell you, if you want to see Parliament Funkadelic, hey, go see Parliament Funkadelic. Go see him. Absolutely. I can't even go see him. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun. But here, just know that he's probably going to come back.
Well, you got to understand, there's a final, and then there's a final. But you can't have a final until you have an unfinal. So he's got to come back in order to do the final.
Well,
and that's fair. I think that's reasonable.
Technically, this would be the trifecta.
Right. Want to unfinalize the final.
So the 2022 One Nation Under a Groove tour starts in New York with Dopapod and Pimps of Joy Time. And then, of course, he's going to Connecticut, Massachusetts, Indiana. Hey, Cammie, it's coming up by you. Indiana, Ohio, North Carolina. That'd be a pretty good show. The Motet, Dopapod, and Pimps of Joy Time. That would be a good show. That would be a really, really good show. And the Floozies in Pimps of Joytown would be sick. Pennsylvania, Texas, Arizona, Nevada, and of course they do a few stops in California, and that's all that's on there. But anyways, George Clinton is coming out of retirement, and again. So, anyways, yeah, Andre's being a little bit snarky, but George does come out and, he does his normal start to sing. He doesn't really sing for the whole show. He does his normal, but he's not mobile like he used to be. And he does like to sit because dude's not young.
I mean, he's got to sit. He's got to, but it's still a killer show. It's still a great show. And that's the point. It's still a great show. It's just,
it is a great show. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, but just know that it has changed a little bit. Thank you so much, P Funk. Miss Velvet in Blue Wolf. Yeah. It's great. So anyways, if you like Parliament Funkadelic, it's a great show. You're going to hear the ones that you always expect. You're going to hear Tear the Roof Off the Sucker. You're going to hear Maggot Brain. You're going to hear some really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But just also know that he is also handing the reins off to his kids. So there is hip hop that's towards the end of the show. Right. So if you're not a fan of hip hop and you're not really kind of, feeling it, there's a little bit of that. But it's fine. It's a great show. Dude is in his 80s. It's a great show. Go see it. It's good. If you've never seen them, it's a good show.
I agree. If it's in your town, go get your tickets. Go see the show. Go see it. That's it.
Yeah.
And worry about whether it's a final or not a final later. Just don't.
Yeah, don't sweat it.
Yeah, don't go for the title. Go for the show. That's what it is.
So a happy. Also, I wanted to make sure that we also said this too. A happy 78th birthday to the one and only George Benson.
Happy birthday, George.
His birthday is today. I was kind of hoping that this would actually fall on that this Tuesday would fall on the 21st, which was yesterday, which was the anniversary of the 16th anniversary of the release of 3121. Everybody's like, why is it 3121? Because it's 3/21. So that's the reason why he did 3/1/2. That's the reason why he released it on this day. Anyways, so the release of 3121 was yesterday. A lot of very, very cool things and clips and whatnot. But today, happy birthday to George Benson. Amazing artist. Can't talk enough about George. He's just
absolutely.
He's just amazing. He's just an amazing dude.
There's the super influence for any guitarist who wants to be great.
Yes, absolutely. There's nothing that he doesn't. Between This Masquerade and just a laundry list of songs that he came out with. This Masquerade was probably his biggest tune. A lot of people don't know this, but the song Another Star on Stevie Wonder's album Songs in the Key of Life, that was George Benson on guitar and backup vocals on that song. And also Bootsy Collins' newest album, the last one, The Power of the One, George Benson is on. It's incredible. He's got you got Breezin'. There's so many songs, George Benson. Definitely spend some time on Spotify and learn a little bit about Breezin', because it's very, very cool. So I'm gonna jump. Well, maybe I can not jump ahead. I'm not gonna jump ahead for a second. We'll just talk about this really, really quick.
It doesn't matter.
We'll just talk about this really, really quick. So you guys see me always having an Atlanta Falcons mug. And for those who are not in Atlanta, it's probably not news to you. You probably you really don't care. But that is Matt Ryan. He is the Atlanta Falcons quarterback. And that's the Atlanta Falcons quarterback. and he is no longer the Atlanta Falcons quarterback.
No longer.
As of yesterday, he was traded. Oh, hold on a second. Jeremy says he's seen George Benson's son pop up on our shows before.
Really?
If he was here, I didn't even know it was him. So, Jeremy, please let me know when he comes in here, and so we can touch base with him and get George on the show.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, so let's talk about Matty Ice. just for a second, because I've always had I have a love-hate relationship with Matt Ryan only because of the fact that I think that he had like a 2-year period where he could do no wrong. Now, by the numbers, Matt Ryan was one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Absolutely.
If you step back, don't look at the record of the team as a whole, like how many, don't look at that.
Yeah, look at his.
Look at the stats. Look at the passing yards. Look at all that stuff. The rushing. He was at the top of the league. Mm-hmm. At one point in time, when Tom Brady retired, he was the top.
Right.
Even though he had no Super Bowl ring to show for it, he was the deal. But if you don't have wins, you don't win.
Right.
It's very simple. If you don't win, if you don't win, nobody remembers your name. Nobody knows who you are. Right. And also on the same note, he always seemed like he was frazzled to me. He just seemed like he just never, like if he fell out of the pocket and the offensive line couldn't keep people off him, he wasn't like one of those quick reactors. He just seemed like, oh shit. It was just like this. So I never knew why Matty Ice became a nickname of his. But maybe it could just be, I'm not that familiar with all the inner workings of, I used to play football in high school for a very short period of time, but I don't know from a coaching standpoint, like looking at the whole coaching standpoint of it, if it's, the team is really messed up, obviously. Now, apparently, they're bringing in Mariota to replace him, who's the Oakland Raiders quarterback. He was at the Tennessee Titans, and he was at the Oakland Raiders. So, I mean, maybe it's just it's a recipe. Maybe there's just a certain. Let me tell you about Mariota. He is much more physical, so he's much more willing to like knock you over and like dive into the. That's not Matty's style at all. So maybe that's exactly what we needed, because there was plenty of times where you'd see the whole entire field open up and Matt would still be standing there looking for somebody to pass it to instead of running down the hole and getting to the, so maybe that's what we need. I don't know.
Right.
It's going to be a crazy, crazy thing. And I did not see this. That's so focused on Atlanta. Apparently Russell went to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's the quarterback for Cleveland Browns? What's his name? I think one of our producers to look it up. But hold on a second. I'll look it up. Cleveland Browns QB. Somebody will say it before I pull it up. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield got the Cleveland Browns the furthest they had been in the playoffs in, like, what was it, 20 years, 18 years? It was like crazy. It was like so insane. Yeah. Mariota and him have the same, and Mariota and him have the same type of numbers.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think it makes sense. Mariota does seem like a better fit for that kind of team, for their team.
Deshaun's going to Cleveland. Now, Atlanta did fight for Deshaun for a while, but that did not.
They got tired of fighting, I guess.
That didn't pan off. So, one for Matty Ice.
So where is Matty going?
He is going to the Indianapolis Colts.
That's it, the Colts.
I don't want to be interesting too. I'll be really ticked off if he takes the Colts to the playoffs the first year in.
Hilarious, right?
Or God forbid he does a Tom Brady. He goes in and wins the Super Bowl. I'll be so mad. I'll just be ridiculously mad. All right, we got We got one more topic to talk about, and then we're going to talk about Ender Sherry. I'm going to talk about Ender Sherry in just a second, but I got one more thing I want to talk about. And the only reason why I've been sitting on Ender Sherry is because of the fact that I'm nervous about how much time I'm going to eat up talking about these fantastic friggin' CDs. Oh my God. But for right now, let's go one more topic. Let's talk about, just for a second, Dolly Parton.
Dolly.
We talked about Dolly Parton,
her graceful bow out,
and how the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame basically put her on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
And in classy Dolly Parton fashion, Dolly said, "Take me off the ballot. It doesn't make sense for me to be on the ballot. I'm not rock and roll.
Right.
I'm country." Since then, there's been a lot of articles that have gone about to and fro, talking about maybe the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should change their name because they're not rock and roll.
Right.
They've inducted Biggie. They've inducted Public Enemy. Yeah. Now, if you look at some, they've inducted all kinds of bands that are just not rock and roll.
Right. And part of that argument somebody was giving me is, well, this person had a rock song and this person, and I'm like, yeah, but they're still not rock and roll style. So mega hits though, but
right. So all that being said, now from a rock and roll attitude, I would say Dolly fits that because she is absolutely has been defiant throughout her career and has fought for everything that she's earned everything that she's got.
Absolutely.
But it was definitely people stood up and said, unreal, that she's saying, take me out of it. I would rather see Judas Priest in there. I would rather see a band that's actually rock and roll get inducted into this, and me taking up one of those spots that one of those bands could have makes no sense at all.
Right.
Well,
it nicely even said when she does a rock album and, goes that direction, then maybe she'd be reconsidered at that time. And I just think that's so graceful.
Right. And in response, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has denied her request to remove herself from the ballot. They said, basically, we are in awe of Dolly's brilliant talent and pioneering spirit and are proud to have nominated her for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
They said, nope.
Basically, in a polite way, was saying, it's just not happening.
Right. We're putting you, we nominated you, and if you win, you're going in whether you like it or not. That's
right. And then it continues. It says, all of us in the music community have seen Dolly Parton's thoughtful note expressing her feeling that she has not earned the right to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In addition to her incredible talent as an artist, her humility is another reason Dolly is a beloved icon by millions of fans around the world.
Right.
And Dolly has said, her quote is, I really don't want votes to be split because of me.
Right.
Mainly because of the fact that there's other artists in here, Rage Against the Machine, Judas Priest, Devo, MC5 and New York Dolls. I mean, those are all rock bands. Lionel Richie is in there, and technically Commodores.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Dionne Warwick. Okay. But see, here's just the thing. These other artists did not step out that aren't rock and roll. So where else do you talk about that too? Lionel Richie, he hasn't said anything about that, even though the Commodores are not in there either. Right. Tribe Called Quest, they're certainly not going to say anything. Dionne Warwick, because the Tribe Called Quest would be in good company, because obviously Eminem is going to be inducted this year. There's no doubt, because he is at the top of the list of ballots.
At the top.
But Eminem, again, it's that rock and roll attitude. That's the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carly Simon, soft rock. Dionne Warwick, soft rock. Beck, alternative. What were you gonna say?
I think Dolly, the realistic thing is she deserves to be anywhere in any award she wants.
Sure,
As far
absolutely.
as, other than a hip hop award, because I can't imagine anything, but she hasn't done anything at all in that world. But I could just see her like. I understand her bowing out, and I understand why they want her there.
Right.
Both make sense, but the fact that she gracefully did that, I think respectfully, it would have been a smarter move for them to say, we understand, and even capitalize on that and say, we agree, and that would help them boost who is nominated. And I don't know, I think it would have been a smarter move to accept it and actually make have a press conference about it.
Judas Priest, the guitarist for Judas Priest, Richie Faulkner, he had a comment after Dolly had made that announcement, and he said, I think it was a classy move, really. I think she recognizes her brand, and it doesn't necessarily fit into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I think it raises questions to what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's brand is as well. But there is also the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The reason why they're keeping her there is because there are other artists in the same vein: Johnny Cash, Chet Atkins, and Hank Williams,
Right.
Brenda Lee. So those are all, country artists. But again, Johnny Cash is very much rock and roll, even though he's country.
Too. Yeah, he is.
Hank Williams, even though he's very hardcore, we're not talking about Hank Williams Jr. here. We're talking about Hank Williams. Still kind of rock and roll. Chet Atkins, still kind of rock and roll. Brenda Lee, no. But, but of course, then the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame continues its statement and said, from its inception, rock and roll has had deep roots in rhythm and blues and country music, and it is not defined by any one genre, rather a sound that moves youth culture.
Right.
Anyways, Dolly, we love you. Would love to have you on the show. Seem that's a pretty far cry off. I know we are absolutely not at your caliber, but absolutely Jaden would die. Like really, like Jaden has like almost all of Dolly's albums, has her books, has magazines. Anytime anything Dolly comes out, her whole room is like a mini Dollywood. So I can tell you that I would love to have Dolly on the show, even though we're Funkatopia.
Right. We could be Dollytopia for a while.
Right. I didn't. Anyway, so still much class for Dolly for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. And, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, maybe this is a precursor to some new branding strategy. Maybe there is something down the line, who knows? So we never know what's in the background.
Yeah. So let's talk about a great topic, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about Ender Carey, shall we?
Let's talk about him.
All right, so you guys have heard me talk about Ender Carey quite a bit. You've also heard me pronounce him as Ender Sherry for many more times than I pronounced him Ender Carey. But I finally was able, try to be careful. And I'll tell you why, Jeff Paige. I'll tell you why later. But I was able to get a hold of a couple of very cool Ender Carey logos. This is from the Love Faders album. Also, Love Faders file folder as well. But also, Andre.
Wow.
All right, we'll see you. Bye now. Got the first album from Ender Carey, Love Faders, which was unfreaking real. I mean, it's like got pieces of D'Angelo, pieces of
that track, man. As soon as I heard it, I was like, D'Angelo?
Yeah, the track that you're referring to, I can't see this. I think the track you're referring to is "I'm Just Me." There's a song called "I'm Just Me" that's on this. That is unreal.
What?
Unreal. Then they have their second CD, which is Hybrid Funk. There's this one here.
Mhm.
Also, another great CD. Big difference in sound between these two CDs. This one is very raw. It's a raw funk. This kind of some of the samples and stuff. But this one, I guess Johnny's, which is his management company over there in Japan, threw some serious dollars at it, because what ended up happening is that they put like massive horn sections and strings and all kinds of stuff behind it.
Production.
So it became this whole really, really big sound. Cammy said, are the songs in English?
They are.
They are not. Some of them, he mixes it. He mixes Japanese and also English. So some things he says in English and some things he says in Japanese, but trust me, you're not even care. It's kind of like the same effect that Rock Me Amadeus had when Falco broke in the 80s. It was just like, I don't even care what language this is. Ooh, Rock Me Amadeus. It's kind of like, what I'm saying? Like, ew. But it's just a really, really big sound. Great stuff off of here. Hybrid Funk. There's a great song on here called Sanka Funk. This is really, really good. This a great CD. Tough to find in the States. And then this is the latest one, Neuralian, and I am that was the clips that I was playing behind me, was from this one. That was a clip from this. I'm not playing any more than that because everybody just start falling off. All I can tell you is that download the Funked Up app. Make sure that the new Funked Up app, if you have the Funked Up app and it still has this logo on it, it means that you have the old app on your phone.
Right.
Uninstall it, go up to Google Play and download the new app. It's got not one, but 2 radio stations on it. It has got a brand new radio station that is a 24/7 funk radio station. A 24/7 funk radio station that's funked up, but it's a different stream. It's no longer streaming from this computer, by the way. It's online, so I don't have to worry about power outages or anything like that. And it's also got a 24/7 Prince radio station, too. It's also got 24/7 Prince radio station. And that is currently called Purple Yoda Radio.
For now.
But we're going to be changing... It's Leanne says I can't pull up the new app symbol. No, it's still there. It still should be the thing. Anyways, we don't want to get in any type of kerfuffle with LucasArts. I just don't want to get into the whole. Yes, I said kerfuffle.
Really? That's awesome. Okay. So if we're going to come up with some clever creative words, I think we need to have a show that's dedicated to kerfuffles.
Kerfuffle.com.
Oh my God.
So you can, I don't want to get into any kerfuffle with LucasArts. So we are changing the name of the radio station. I have given it to Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Funkatopia. I have, I'll put that scroll on the bottom so you can actually support. I've given it to Patreon supporters to actually help me rename the app. And somebody had suggested Uptown Radio. Uptown Radio. And I saw all the different ones that people were putting up there, Purple Banana and Paisley Radio and Paisley Purple this and Purple that, but and that's all fine. But unless something else comes and really snags me, basically I'm coming up with it's $100 gift certificate to Funkatopia, the store, but I'm going to change it to just a gift card so you can spend it wherever. Hopefully you'll spend it at Funkatopia store. But so whoever comes up with the winning name, and I can't remember who it was that came up with Uptown Radio, but that all being said,
yeah,
not to get off topic,
right?
Even though we already have, there are going to be a lot of tracks from these CDs on Funked Up. So you are going to hear a lot more of Enter Carry on the Funked Up app. So if you download the Funked Up app, if you have an Apple phone, you can go to, and I don't know, we have a lot of listeners in Japan, but you can go to the Apple store and look for Funked Up. That is FUNKEDUP. And I don't have it on the scroll over here. But look for Funked Up and download the app, and you'll be able to hear like a lot of stuff. I think we had like about 3 or 4 songs of theirs on rotation. There's going to be more because I didn't realize that these guys is just I don't know. Here's honestly what I thought. I loved everything I heard from Enter Carry, but I thought maybe I was just being I was being delivered a few of the good tracks. You know,
right.
Here are some of the good tracks off of this album. Here, listen to this. Oh, here's a good. I had no idea that this was front to back funk. It's just crazy. And what I told you, a lot of people don't know this, but the lead singer of this band, actually it's his band, Tsuyoshi Domoto. He is actually has hearing loss. And so being in music is a big struggle for him. I can't say anything. I can't say anything.
Yeah,
I'm not going to. He has hearing loss, but let me just put it this way. The music that is on these CDs, you can tell that there is compensation in the power, in the drums, in the bass. It's just everything is just, and you could tell that it's being done to compensate so that he can feel stuff, so that he can just really, and it comes through on these CDs. It's really rare. It's like listening to a Prince CD, right? It's like when you listen to Rainbow Children, you're like, holy crap, the production is just like, what the. It's the same exact thing on these CDs. You can hear that's
or musicology.
Yes, Trish. Yes, I am going to be putting a lot of these songs onto the Funkatopia radio station, on the Funked Up station. Obviously, not the 24/7 Prince radio station, but yeah, anyways, I got the 3 CDs to the mail, and I've just been listening to them nonstop, and it's just been fantastic.
And I put the Funked Up the way it's spelled correctly to find it as a banner. So if you want to show it.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's put it up. Where'd you put? Oh yeah. So if you go to app, that's it right there. Apple Store is Funked Up. That's how you spell it. If you have an Android phone, anything that's not Apple, you can still go to the Google Play Store or wherever you get your app, and you can search for Funked Up, and you'll get the app, and it will have the 24/7 Prince radio station and the 24/7 Funked Up radio station, both of them on the same exact app. Same exact app. You can flip between them. You've had time to play around with the app. What have you been thinking?
I like it too, because you can, when you click on any of the other things, it'll take you out to the page, and then you can come back. It's really well done. And
it was a pain in the butt to get it done, man.
Yeah. But they did a pretty decent job with it. There was one issue I ran into, I think, with was it IG, Instagram, that was going to the Twitter page,
Yeah, and I got access to go onto the control panel, and I can actually do some push messages and do some other things in there.
Yeah.
I have not. I've just been buried in work and all this other stuff. But yeah, it's a great app, and there's a couple little tweaks and stuff that's got to go on. Like I think with Android, if you play the app in your car, the song and the album title, the song and the artist do not go up to your display on your car. It just says like now on mine, it says now playing ... We've heard some other people saying, but any issues that you have with the app, please let me know. We are going to do a second iteration that not only will resolve those issues, but also change the name of the app from Purple Yoda Radio to
Something.
to whatever. Yeah, to whatever we call it.
Yeah.
As it stands, I'm liking Uptown Radio. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Maybe I should just kind of go through all of Prince's songs and try to find the appropriate title, I guess.
Some favorites too. So Uptown.
Yeah. So again, if you do not have the app, please look for it. It's called Funked Up. Take a listen to it. It's great. And it's going to have a lot of these. I will be adding a lot of these songs tomorrow to the Funked Up app, to the Funked Up station. So hopefully that will get into better rotation and you will actually get to hear some of these amazing tracks. A lot of it's also on Spotify too. Not all of it. Some of it's on Spotify, but it's pretty awesome.
And going, you want to mention that their concert.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I totally that. Thank you for reminding me about that. So Ender Carey is also going to be playing 17 shows, which is crazy. 17 show. I mean, that's almost like 21 nights. I mean, it's
Right.
but they're playing 17 shows, and I know. Anyway, let me just say this. Here is the. Apparently, it's 17 national tour performances that starts in April. It actually starts on. It's going to be held in 8 venues nationwide. By nationwide, it means Japan only. Right. But they're starting the tour. It says right here the tour starts on April 8th at the Maihama Amphitheater in Chiba. And they're doing a total of 17 performances, with the final performance being held in Nara Centennial Hall in Nara, and which is the hometown of Tsuyoshi Demoto, on May 29th. So that's a long time. So it's 17 shows, but that's a pretty good period of time. That's that's almost 2 months.
Yeah.
But it's 17 shows over 2 months. But you could not get tickets. Apparently, the tickets sold out like very quickly. Yeah, it sold out very, very quickly, and they were only being Osaka. We all know about Osaka. Prince played plenty of shows at Osaka, but this is all the places that he's actually playing, and yeah, a lot of shows. It looks like he's spacing them out because I think we've seen some interviews talking about him and that these shows take a lot out of him physically. So. He's so when he loves doing them, but it's just a lot with anyways. So all I will tell you is Ender Carey fans, please stay close to Funkatopia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay tuned. Follow us on Facebook. If you're looking on Facebook right now, follow us. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, click follow, click like,
subscribe
to it. Make sure if you're an Ender Carey fan, make sure you're subscribing, clicking, following. Just stay put for a while.
Miss Chris will start pronouncing it correctly regularly.
Ender Carey. Yes. Did I didn't say it since I started doing it right? Did I? Naomi says she's going to see Ender Carey live in April. Congratulations. That's awesome. It's yes. Awesome. But I am very much I'm jealous. I'm actually going to be out of town from the April 2nd to April 9th. I would love to go to Japan, but apparently I think all the shows are pretty much sold out. They would not allow any ticket sales outside of Japan. Is the other thing I heard.
Hmm.
It was just a mess. So, anyways, says I love Indicary. So nice to see you promoting their music. We can feel this music for sure. Yeah, it's a different experience. It's not just funk. There's something else. Trying to think of what I've experienced like this before. Like the first time that I heard Outkast, it was like, what's happening here? There's something totally different, a different vibe that's happening here that's not been done before. I don't know. Mary says, so paid on this app, no free. It is a free app. You can get this app for free. Funked Up. Just get the Funked Up app. I'm telling you, just go to the Apple Store or go to Google Play, look up Funked Up and download it. It is a free app. You got 2 radio stations. You'll be able to listen to it. It's fantastic.
If you want to pay.
Let me tell you something. But here's the other thing too. Even though this app is free, please support Funkatopia. Become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/Funkatopia if you want to do one-time donations to Cash App or Venmo. We still have to pay for this app. We still have to pay for the broadcasting. We still have to pay for all the time, the equipment. There's still stuff that has to happen. And so please support Funkatopia, please. Even if you have to have something in return, go to the Funkatopia store and buy some merch. Whatever. Support.
And
But I wish that this was a regular T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm an Undercarry fan. For sure. I had said I've become a hardcore Undercarry fan, and I saw some people were retweeting what I said, and everybody was laughing because they had never heard the term hardcore fan before. And I'm like thinking, yeah, I wonder what they think I mean by that. That was kind of funny. So hardcore fan basically means that we're like really big fans,
like serious
fans of Undercarry. As you can tell, we talk about them almost every show. So that's what it is. All right. So let me talk a little bit about my friend, and probably friends to you too, I would imagine.
Yeah.
The one and only Jelly Bean Johnson.
Jelly Bean.
I love Jelly Bean. He is probably the most down-to-earth person that you will ever meet. If you ever get an opportunity to meet him, he is completely gracious with his time. He is completely gracious with he is just such a cool individual.
Absolutely. Those of you that were here when he was on the show, what you saw is what he is. He is exactly every bit of that. That personality just comes out as like, oh, he's so nice. He's awesome.
Yeah. So we personally love Jelly Bean. Such a good guy. Right. However, today, but he's not now.
Right.
There's been a little bit of yet another kerfuffle. I'm going to see how many times I can use the kerfuffle word, because apparently Janet Jackson did a post on Twitter.
Yeah.
And basically said, in this edition of this is John Cameron, celebrating 30 years of Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 1814 album. And of course, it's linking to the podcast and everything. And it talks about Rhythm Nation, and they keep on, and they've tagged him here, obviously on Twitter. But a lot of people don't know. Now, you guys have heard Control. You've got to have heard Rhythm Nation. You've heard Jelly Bean is all over those albums.
He really liked and believed in that project. He thought it was.
He absolutely believed. He was at the helm, along with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I get it. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, the core of the time. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Jelly Bean Johnson, all of them were heavily involved in Janet Jackson's success throughout Control and throughout Rhythm Nation. And That's the reality of it. But a lot of people don't know this. But Jelly Bean, obviously, when he saw this, he got a little bit nerved, and he said,
perturbed.
And he tweeted 30 years of a number one song that I generate no income on. Zero. A song that sold tens of millions and I got nothing. So if you tag me in this post, you have to get my truth. So that brings us to, I don't exactly know how to even approach this really, because here's the thing. Jelly Bean is the most giving and caring person that you will ever meet in person. He is just such a level laying down to earth. But the reality of it is that in a lot of these situations, especially with things that happen with Janet Jackson and with Prince, he got screwed multiple times.
Over and over, like just wow.
Just repeatedly. All the big songs that you know from Jelly Bean are like the ones that you know him from. Janet Jackson's, hollering at his name, Jelly Bean.
Right.
Morris Day and the Time, always yelling out his, always doing shout outs, Jelly Bean. All the fame and notoriety that he has on record, a majority of those songs, 80 to 90% of those songs, he is not making a dime off of.
Right.
Because even with the scenario with Morris Day and the Time. Now, here's what I can tell you. I know, I have heard from internal sources, because once this was tweeted today, it started a little bit of a whirlwind of conversation regarding some of this stuff. And we have seen some people, internal people, that have had some things to say about the whole Morris Day and the Time situation.
Right.
And, Morris got a lot of attention. I mean, a surprising amount of attention with the whole debacle that happened with the estate, telling him he couldn't use the Morris Day and the Time name anymore, and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But the reality of it is that nobody's really paying too much of attention to, the other people that were involved in that band, like Jelly Bean, like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, because they weren't making any money off of that whole scenario either.
Right.
And the stories that I had heard was that Prince's biggest issue with the Time, as far as using the name the Time, came from, still, even years later with the whole Original 7 thing, still came from and was rooted in the Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis fiasco. That people said internally that Prince still had issue with, said that they kind of gave the Minneapolis sound away, and that it was Prince's thing, and he kind of felt like that this is my thing, but he felt like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis gave that sound to Janet Jackson on her Control album, gave it to the SOS band, gave it. So
right.
This was not just something that, I don't want you to produce for anybody because I don't want you to give away my sound. The reality of it is, he fired them. But that sound, I mean, you listen to Janet Jackson's Control album, that sound, it's different, but it's there. Yeah. That keyboard stab, that's a Prince sound. That's a Prince sound. So you've got all this extra stuff that's going on now with Jelly Bean, and Jelly Bean is feeling some sort of way right now.
Yeah.
And he's really, really ticked off because Janet's team and people that are involved with Janet keep on, releasing these things, these anniversary this and these anniversary that. And every time that Jelly Bean sees it, he gets annoyed by it. It's like somebody showing, advertising something that pisses you off repeatedly.
Right.
And there are a lot of scenarios where Jelly Bean just got screwed out of. There are people very, very close that have said everything that Jelly Bean for, he's not making any money off of.
Right.
So this is a really big issue for him.
Right.
And I don't know where to go with this conversation other than I don't know if it's a scenario where he just wasn't represented correctly when he was like fleshing out these deals with Janet and fleshing out these deals with Prince and fleshing out these deals with the Time and fleshing out, doing all this stuff. But I do know that right now that him and Monty and, all these folks that are involved in this new music Hall of Fame, this new music museum that they're creating in Minneapolis is their focus right now. They kind of want to use this museum to kind of set some of those records straight. Yeah. And anytime that you can go to Minneapolis and see Jelly Bean in concert and contribute to anything, whether it's buying one of his CDs, get experienced. Mm-hmm. Anytime that you can support him, do it, because Jelly Bean is deserved of.
He gave. That's
oh my gosh.
Anybody gave of their talent, he absolutely did that. And so yeah, I get it. I could see why to be upset about it. Not and the thing is, it's not that he's upset that they're even doing it. But, even from the post, it's like, why are you tagging me? Yeah.
Stop tagging me.
Stop tagging me. Like, you're using my name almost.
You're putting the tag and antagonize.
And tag.
Stop with me. Stop with me. Get away from me, man. Leave me alone. I'm glad that this new museum that they're putting up, Cammie, if you're still on, Cammie's one of our illustrious producers. Love her to death. Cammie, if you're still on, can you pull up or send me a page that I can copy that I might be able to look it up. I want to direct people to this museum that Jelly Bean is involved in, because I want you guys to also support this museum. And if you're in Minneapolis, here's another thing I can tell you. Jelly Bean is almost always at the Minneapolis Music Cafe, which is surprisingly enough not in Minneapolis. It's actually on the outskirts. It's kind of more closer to St. Paul, but it's not Minneapolis. But there's Minneapolis Music Cafe that he is almost always at. He's like almost always there. So if he always does live performances there, he'll come and he'll sit and he'll hang out with fans like almost all the time. It's like that's like his like second home. He's like always there, and he'll sit in with bands. So even if there's like a random band playing, they'll have Jelly Bean come up and play. I knew that was the case, and when last time I was up there, I brought Rob Rhythm. Thank you, Funkatopia for placing that up there. That would be you, Jeff Paige. Thank you. Greg said that he's tagged me on Jelly Bean's June 6th event. So that is maybe Jeff Paige. We need to look and see what's going on. Maybe we can try to come up with some type of Funkatopia event to do up in Minneapolis. I would love to bring Jaden up there. She wants to see Paisley Park. She is still obsessed with setting this up in Minecraft, building Paisley Park in Minecraft. So I think she has to see it and be in it and experience it to really kind of get an idea of the vastness of it. But yeah, it's that is MPLSsoundmuseum.com. Please go there. MPLSsoundmuseum.com. I wish that Jelly Bean was able to join us tonight and talk a little bit about the Minneapolis Sound Museum. Maybe we'll have him come on, in a upcoming show to talk specifically about this in a lot more detail. But I'm glad that this is going to set the record straight on a lot of different things.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. Minneapolis is all about Prince. Everybody that you run into in Minneapolis, regardless of who it is, even if it's a grandmother, it seems like everybody has a Prince story. It's like everybody has a Prince story. But the reality of it is that all of those folks, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, more, all the members of the time, Paul Peterson's entire, the whole Peterson family is like engulfed. They were Minnesota music before Prince. The Peterson family was so heavily ingrained in the Minneapolis music scene before Prince was. That was why he kind of fell onto Prince's radar, not because, oh, you're a white guy that can sing. I think I got a spot for you.
Right.
The Peterson family was huge in Minneapolis.
Yep.
So I'm glad this is going to exist. Please visit it. Please support it. If you go there, go. If you happen to be in Minneapolis, I guarantee you during the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, whatever, you'll be able to go to now I think I have, let me stop sharing that one because I may actually have, I thought I did. At one point in time, yes, I do. I still have it. And it still, I have to fix the map, but let me share the screen. I have to fix the map. There's something wrong with it. I haven't touched this site in a long time. But
the floor plan.
No. This is not the floor plan. I got to show you this to you. This is a website that I actually created because I was inspired when I went to Minneapolis because I felt like if you're coming from out of town into Minneapolis, and this includes April too, I wanted you to have some place to go where you could, see all the different places that were Prince-like places, like the Purple Rain House and all that stuff. So that was the reason why I created this website called celebrationtrip.com.
Oh, look at you being all tour guide-ish.
Yeah, so this is celebrationtrip.com. You can actually get to it. There's also another URL too, and you can actually go to all the different places. So if you wanted to see, the Henderson Prince tribute, all the different murals, Calhoun Square, the loading docks, the barbershops, all the murals that are on there. There's Capri Theater, and it actually has a map. Obviously, something's wrong with the licensing of this map here. Something weird is going on, but it actually has icons. So when you're in Minneapolis, it's kind of grayed out right now because it's got this thing. But I put a little Prince logo on all the different places that you could stop so you could actually map it out. And you could see all the places, the home of John Nelson, Charles Chazz's home, Minneapolis Dance Theater, First Avenue. All the places are on this map. And this is at celebrationtrip.com. I stopped talking about this website because I'd put so much into, and I actually created an event area too that was supposed to be keep all the events here so that when you went for a celebration, you not only saw what was going on at the celebration at Paisley Park, but you could also see all the other events that were going on in Minneapolis at the same time. Like if Paul Peterson and Eric Leeds were doing an LP show at, a jazz cafe somewhere, or somebody was playing at Dakota, all those things would be listed here so that when you went into town, you could just go here. You could, during the day, you could go to all the places and see all the landmarks. And then at the same time, you could also check out all the shows. And I was going to incorporate tickets, but there's a lot of stuff going on. And, you know me, I keep doing all these things. And it's...
Yeah, that was pre-Alpha Brain.
That was pre-Alpha Brain. That's correct. Yes. Does Jelly Bean have a physical location yet? No. Oh, for the Minneapolis Sound Museum? I don't know.
Let me go back to it.
Yeah, I think that they do,
yeah.
But I think it's just I don't know. Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff, and Minneapolis Music Cafe is on that map. It's on the map, so you can see a lot of live shows there. We've seen some really, really cool stuff. Matter of fact, when Rob and I went, we went like kind of later in the year during the pandemic. That was in 2020, I think it was. And we were surprised to actually see a live band there. It was a live band playing. It was like, holy crap, a live band is playing. Maybe that was 21. But it was pretty cool because we did not expect to see any live bands. Matter of fact, we were just surprised to see anybody at all. You know what other cool website I saw? Anybody out there want to type this in? Type it in, not on this browser window, but go type in 1-800-NEWFUNK.com. It's a really cool website. Check it out. 1-800-NEWFUNK.com. Just type it in. Go to that website. It's really cool. You're going to love it. Check it out. I'll give you guys a minute to open up a new tab and go to 1-800-NEWFUNK.com. You remember this is Prince's album, right? It's a very, very cool. Oh my God. So, so, you know me, I do digital marketing for a living. And obviously in this process of trying to find a new home, a website for the app itself, I wanted to find like uptownradio.com or something. And I'm like, okay, what are we? I needed to find a new domain name. And of course, there wasn't any domain names available. And I was like, okay, let me go to the domain auctions because they have a lot of different places online that you can go. And they show you a bunch of websites that are domain names that people have left or no longer care about, or that GoDaddy is sitting on and you got to pay like a premium cost for it. And I said, all right, let's start with funk. So I type in funk, and right there at the top, because of the fact it starts with numbers and they put it in alphabetical order, 1-800-NEWFUNK.com was right there. The estate didn't have it. Paisley Park didn't have it. Nobody had it. It was just sitting there. Apparently, whoever owned it before let the website go, didn't care about it, then didn't guard the domain, just kind of just let it go away. And I was like, holy crap. I won't tell you how much I paid for it. I'm not. But here's what I can tell you. It wasn't like thousands of dollars or anything. It wasn't even in the four figures. It was a lot lower than that. And I was just like, okay. So I bought it. 1-800-NEWFUNK.com is now a Funkatopia domain. Now, it currently, if you type in 1-800-NEWFUNK.com, it currently goes to Funkatopia.com because I needed some place to put it. That's where it is right now. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. But I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I just don't. I don't. But you know what's interesting is that, you know, there's still commercials and stuff from MPG Music Club, the old commercials that they had from MPG Music Club that talk about 1-800-NEWFUNK.com. So I'm absolutely going to use that somehow, find out the clips, and I don't know. Cammy says the new name. Do they have it? My guess is that it's probably trademarked in some. It's probably trademarked in some form or fashion. I can only. I mean. Anyways, so yes, I, Mr. Christopher, am the owner of 1-800-NEWFUNK.com. And I was talking as soon as I bought it, not even 5 minutes later, I immediately texted Jeff Paige and I said, dude, you're not going to believe this. I was just like, oh my God. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. And And here's the thing, even though it cost me a few $100s, here's what I can tell you. I own a piece of Prince history. Like that is absolutely positively a piece of Prince history. It absolutely is. I mean, that's just not even.
Yeah, a big monster piece, man. It's yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. It doesn't even. I mean, I don't understand. I guess I don't understand why. I don't know. I don't understand why it was available in the first place. To be totally honest, that's the shock for me.
Right.
That's the shock for me.
Right.
That
I'm saying, like, I remember that album.
Oh yeah.
I was blown away by it because it was so different. I was just like, wow, everybody's on there. Yeah, you have a piece of history. Like, who said it? Somebody said that it fell in the right hands. Yeah, Lynette. She's 100% correct. It fell in the right hands.
It could have, truthfully, it could have fallen into the hands of some domain squatter.
Right.
Because what did I tell you before? Everybody, even Prince did it when he was talking about Funkatopia. He said, hold on a second, let me see if I can find this thing. This is what's funny about, we were talking about Funktopia without the A in the middle.
Right.
We continually talked about that, and the way that Prince would always do it anytime that he talked about it. Oh, this is not a good example of one. Man, I'm trying to find one where he talked about it, but like he would always put, whenever he was talking about something that we did on our website, he would always put funk and then the URL of whatever he was linking to, and then he would put Topia. And even Bernadette Cooper, when she did our tag, she goes,
said Funktopia.
You need to listen to Funktopia. And I think Tony M, who's a friend of mine, said, he keeps saying Funktopia. Everybody says Funktopia. There is a guy that is sitting on Funktopia.com, Funktopia without the A. He is sitting on Funktopia.com for, what is the current going rate? Can anybody want to look? I can probably look that up.
Isn't it like $6,000? Didn't you say it was?
I don't remember. Let's see. I'm going to pull it up. Funktopia.com without the A. And if I click on it's for sale, $4,325. He wants $4,325 for Funktopia.com without the A.
Wow.
And I got 1-800-NEWFUNK.com, which is a domain that Prince used to own. He has an album named 1-800-NEW-FUNK. I own it, and I didn't even pay 4 figures for it. I did not. I literally, like, the lower 3 figures. I own a piece of Prince history, and I had to put it on a credit card because I was just like, what am I going to do? Not buy what?
Right.
Because I think there was a bidding process, and then they had a buy now thing, which was like about $150 higher than what the bidding thing was. And as soon as I bid for it, it said that it was going to put it into an auction for 21 days and that I would be the starting bid. And I was just like, or I could just pay the extra $150 and do a buy it now. And I was just like, I am not taking this chance.
Yeah, you don't play with it because it'll immediately.
So I just said, and the thing about it was that it had just popped up. It had only been in that domain auction for like a couple of days. So unless you were specifically looking for it, you absolutely would have missed it. So crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And the fact that Funktopia is $4,300 and that I got that for that is crazy.
Right.
I'm very happy about that, by the way. I'm it still stings a little, but as I told you, next year when I only pay $12 a year to renew it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I don't even remember what that money was
Worth
about.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
would have already been paid off, and
It took me a year, no, 10 years to get jeffpage.com. 10 years of me trying to get my own name as my own domain. So, the end result is just the feeling like, oh, finally. And I know I use Jeff Page Music, but I own my own domain name. So I get it. And it was just patiently waiting. The person who owned it was a comic writer, like a comic strip person. At the time I was doing,
my God.
I was like, seriously?
Well, let me let you want something funny. All right. This is going to make everybody laugh. And this is specifically, if there's anybody in this audience that would appreciate this, I too wanted to own MrChristopher.com. I absolutely wanted to own MrChristopher.com. I was like, it's got a lot of titles and everything, but let me show you what MrChristopher.com is.
Uh-oh. Oh, kind of looks like you, man.
So MrChristopher.com is a Just for Fans website where it's a bondage enthusiast, kink educator, and porn director.
Oh,
Wait, I got to click read more.
So it's not far off.
Not far off, no. An adult performer. I document all the models I shoot and play dates I have for you to watch. So this is MrChristopher.com. And until this guy gets too old to do this and he lets this die away, this guy looks in amazing shape, by the way. So I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Not too soon.
But I'll let Andre do a little bit more research on this guy.
Very well. He's going to try to find the rest of the picture.
So that's MrChristopher.com. I would love to own that. And the thing about it is that that's not even how he spells his name.
Right.
Because he spells his name Christopher like Chris Christopherson. It's Kristofer. But right. I guess people just couldn't think to spell his name that way. So anyways, yes. No, Cammy wants to know. So is that me? You can see the picture and obviously you know it's not me. I know I have not appeared shirtless on the show yet, but I don't look like that.
I mean, Photoshop,
Photoshop does wonders.
Does wonders.
Anyway.
I can't.
Anyways, so yes, so that's a funny thing.
Yeah. Let's not all go look at that page though. His numbers to go up.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Oh, this is popular.
I'm keeping it. Another 20 weeks.
Get the CD. Ender carry.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. What have we talked about? We have a couple more things. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we talked about I want to talk about Garrett Scheider's new track. Obviously, the good friend Garrett Scheider. I don't know. Yeah. Let me see if I can play. Let me know if you guys can hear this music. I'm gonna share this screen real quick. You got to hear this new track that Garrett Scheider dropped called Watermelon Funk.
Here I am once again.
I can hear it. Can you hear it?
Giving you the funk like I do, but I brought my friend.
Oh no.
Say hell yeah if you came to jam.
Go Garrett.
I say it with your chest. Now get up off your chest. I want you get up on the good foot. Get down on the one yard. Get down.
Yeah. So
on the yeah.
That's a little click. So just follow him. It's Starchild Junior. As you can see right here, Starchild Junior 78. Make sure that you follow him, Starchild Junior 78. Make sure that you follow him and check out some of these. Just
Now, isn't he featured on?
clips.
It's a collaboration effort on this one.
Yeah.
Right? He's featured.
Yeah, that's him singing though. That's his voice.
Yeah. So,
but all of his stuff is just crazy good, man.
Really
I love all of his albums. Just as much as I love Enter Carry.
He actually has a NFT release one too.
Yes, he does. Absolutely.
So
yeah, and Garrett's been on the show a couple times. He's joined us for the Funk to Funk broadcast, and it's been amazing. So he is definitely follow Garrett Scheider. Check him out on the new. I saw that jam and I was like, oh, I got to talk about the new jam.
Yeah, me too. I was like, what?
Yeah. So so that's pretty much what we had talked about. We talked about 1-800-NEW-FUNK.com, which I was really excited about talking about. Do a little bit of a recap of whatnot. Remember, happy birthday, George Benson. It was his George Clinton is going to be starting a new tour, starting in New York. He's not coming anywhere near Atlanta, but that's okay because all you fine folks are all over the world. So maybe they're going to be, you can go to brooklynvegan. I guess that's it. Yeah, brooklynvegan.com. It's got all the tour dates up there. Congratulations to Matt Ryan. I hope you have a better QB experience with the Indianapolis Colts. The Atlanta Falcons will absolutely positively miss you. Mariota, welcome to Atlanta. I hope that hope you have a good one. Dolly Parton, I would love so much for you to come on the show. Absolutely. Please, if there's any shot at all of you coming on the show, I will literally lose my mind.
Like, wouldn't that be awesome?
I would just completely lose my mind, and Jaden would too, and Cammie would too. Like all these people, all of us are Dolly Parton fans.
I think everybody would. We all would. At that point.
I mean, Dolly is a legend, and I would love to have her on the show, and I'd love to talk a little bit about this. And I don't know if she's going to be talking about it, but anyways, Enter Carry. Check them out on Spotify. I have two logo stickers. I actually took one and put it on this shirt. But absolutely check out Enter Carry. Download the new app. There is a new Funked Up app. If you have a Funked Up app that has this logo on it, you have the old app. The new app has the new Purple Yoda Radio logo on it. If you want a shot at the $100 prize for renaming the Purple Yoda Radio, because we do not want to be in a kerfuffle with LucasArts, join patreon.com/Funkatopia. I'm not opening it up to everybody. I'm just only keeping it in the Patreon family. But I've been doing a lot more with the Patreon stuff. I've been doing a lot of posts, I've been throwing a lot of stuff up there on a regular basis. It's very, very, very cool.
It's cool.
But yeah, so download the new app. It's very, very cool because tomorrow I will be uploading a lot of tracks from these CDs, hand selected tracks, especially Sanka Funk. Oh my God. That's just, my gosh. It's just what was the name of the song I was playing?
I'm blown away, man. It's just what I heard. I was just like, wow, I have to have the CDs now.
The name of this song was called Hecky. That's off of Neuralian. I'm gonna put some of these Garrett Scheider tracks on here. Definitely a bunch of tracks from Enter Carry. Enter Carry fans, stay close. I'm telling you, just follow Funkatopia, subscribe to Funkatopia on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, do all that stuff because you're going to want to stay close. I can't explain. I can't tell you I can't give you any more information. All I can tell you is just stay close. And check out Garrett Scheider's new stuff. Please go to MinneapolisSoundMuseum.com. That's MPLSSoundMuseum.com and support Jellybean Johnson. Jellybean, I know you watch the show. You're probably watching it right now. Thank you so much for all your support over the years, Jellybean. I know you've been a really, really good friend to Funkatopia. for many, many years. You and Marty are fam. Just like Chaz, and you guys are fam too. Chaz is Prince's cousin. All you guys have been family, and I thank you so much for your support. And Jelly Bean, we got your back. We're keep you in our prayers on a regular basis. Whatever you need, just let us know. Any support that you need with the museum, any promotion that you need with the museum, you want to drop some commercials about the museum on the radio station, whatever, man, we'll support you. 1-800-NEWFUNK.com. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it right now. It goes to Funkatopia, but I'm very happy about it.
Yeah.
I just am. It still stings, but I'm just so happy that I own this because
I know
it's legit. It's legit history.
Cammy, for supporting them. That's good to know.
Oh, there's Marty right there. Hey, Marty.
Oh, Marty.
Prayers up.
Yeah.
Marty, we love you guys to death. And anyways, yeah, so Jelly Bean, whatever you need, man, just absolutely let us know. We will absolutely support you in any way we possibly can. Same way with you, Marty. Just it's all good. Just let us know. Jelly Bean, you have my phone number. Call if you need anything. I've been way happy to help. Guys, yeah, Jeremy, that's a good idea. He says we need to have 1-800-NEW-FUNK t-shirts. We got to find out. Cammy, maybe you could do some research on this. Find out if this is trademarked. I know that the album is trademarked. We know that. We know that that's trademarked.
Have to come up with a completely different logo or some way to be able to print it. So yeah, we have to look it up for sure because they don't play when they do their trademark. They do so many different versions of it. So yeah, it could be messy.
Yeah, it's. I mean, trust me, I've already got some domains that are kind of messy as it is. For instance, well, a lot of people don't know this, but I swear to God, I'm still trying to find time to finish the Album Chats website, which is albumchats.com. I do own that. And also, and some people don't know this, but I also own princediscography.com. Yes, I actually own princediscography.com, and I own princealbums.com, and I own princecelebration.com. I own like a bunch of domain names that are all it's kind of riding that fine line. Princealbums.com is not,
Well, I mean, they're all pretty important. They all have a potential for something big, and that's the point.
Well, and princediscography.com and princealbums.com are all going to be to the Album Chat site, which is going to be all of Prince's albums in chronological order that you can listen to the Album Chats, and you can just go through and listen to all the Album Chats that I've done. I've done all of them with the exception of Bria Valente, and there was one other one I didn't do. But I've done all of them. So there's like 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5 hour album chats for albums if they're double albums and stuff that talk about the history of every single album and the history of every single song, everything in chronological order.
Who hasn't seen or heard the Album Chats, go back and check them out.
Yeah, it's a lot. So
full of info.
Yep, absolutely. So all that being said, just I know that I have my hand in a lot of different things, and you may have your sights set on a specific thing. Album Chats will be something that I'm working on, but there's transcription that I'm doing too. I did find, did I show you this? The Moonbeam Levels for You. you.com site. I found that site. That was actually a pretty interesting site too that I kind of stumbled on.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, Moonbeam Levels for you.com is actually a website. I don't own that. But it's a website that literally has all of Prince's songs in alphabetical order and also chronological order, and not all the audio, just the titles of them. And you could, and I know you're thinking, well, what's the difference with that and Prince Vault? The difference is that you can click on the songs and they actually show you the lyrics for every single one of the songs. Even the unreleased songs they have the lyrics for, which doesn't even make any sense. But they have the lyrics for every single Prince song that there is. And some of them actually do have unreleased tracks that you can play that are there. Just saying. So if you wanted to hear some tracks, every now and then you'll stumble upon one and be like, oh, snap. Yeah, so there's that. A lot of cool stuff out there for Prince stuff, but I'm trying to keep everything that I'm doing legit. And that's the trick, because I am too close to the estate. There's too many people in the estate and too many people in the purple circle that know who I am and are aware of me and watch me on a regular basis. So I got to be real, real careful. I probably caused a kerfuffle with the 1-800-NEWFUNK.com. Yes, I've used it 4 times, baby. 1-800-NEWFUNK.com probably might ruffle some feathers. I don't know. Ruffle, kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle. Just remind people if they want it, you got it for 20. And they'll have to at least beat your minimum. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, they would have to. Yes, they would have to pay me quite a bit.
50 grand. Come up with a number and say, this is what I bought it for. So if you want it, I need to at least make my money back. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, I'm not. No, there will be profit involved.
Oh yeah.
I'm not just about. I'm sorry, guys. It's not just about getting my money back.
Oh, I know. Absolutely.
You fall asleep at the wheel.
Yep.
That's the price you pay.
And that's what happens.
Do you remember a few months ago when Google.com became available? Not a few months ago. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. Google.com somehow they let the domain expire. It was like only for like a really short period of time, like one day. And somebody snagged it in like seconds. And they had to pay him. I don't remember what they paid him some ridiculous amount of money to get it back. They were like, our bad. And then they renewed it for like 100 years or something like that.
Yeah. What if that person disappeared?
Yes. They're just like, yeah, we got a special trip for you.
You got a special trip.
It's a cruise to the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
Just crawl in the trunk.
Crawl. One will ever.
Bob John knows that we're talking about the live concert that's coming out on vinyl. Yes, there's a live concert that's coming out on vinyl. I don't remember what show it was. Do you remember what show it was? It was supposed to be. Somebody was talking about this. Rodney told me about it, and I forgot. Does anybody remember what show it was going to be that was going to be on this vinyl that they're releasing?
Oh shoot.
We got plenty of producers here, but there's supposed to be, yes, a live Prince concert that's going to be on vinyl.
Sorry, beyond me.
Oh, it's a Syracuse show, apparently. A Syracuse show.
Syracuse.
So, ought to be a great show. I mean, as long as they have great recordings of them, that's really all that matters. Jeremy says maybe they can offer you a job. I highly doubt it. They just don't like me. It's because I don't know when to shut up. I can't. You got people like Dwayne Tudall and those types of people who are just, they're not going to say anything that diverts away from the facts and only the facts.
Right.
And that's it. That's the type of people that they want to hire, that are not going to navigate away. I'm actually surprised, Funkenberry has been trying to get a job at the estate, or there was at one point in time, there was something, but I guess Prince had offered him a job, but he wasn't going to pay him for it. And so he was just like, no, I need to be paid if I'm going to work for you, which I would say too, is like, I'm not just going to work for you just to work for you.
Right.
But there's a certain type of person that they want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say, extreme high integrity. I'm not saying I don't have integrity. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that on certain topics, I can be very opinionated, and I'm going to be it's going to be very obvious how I feel about something.
Right.
And I'm like this Jelly Bean Johnson thing that we were talking about before.
Right.
I'm going to tell you this Morris Day thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
We didn't go into details about that. A lot of people were saying that the whole Morris Day thing was just a publicity tactic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing about the Morris Day doing that whole tweet saying, oh, they're not letting me use the name and make money. But he's got like 3 or 4 shows on the books now as Morris Day and the Time.
Yeah.
So did they work something out? Did they not work something out?
Right.
These are the things that Dwayne Tudall would not touch with a 10-foot pole. They were just said, oh, well, I'm sure there's something going on in the background. We just don't know. I guess we'll never know.
Right. And
that's not me, brother.
Right. Right. But it's logical for those guys to let it go.
Yeah. You never know what the difference is between, you never know what the reality is.
Right.
The reality is somewhere in there.
Or you do know, but you have to be the one that can't tell anyone.
You can't. And he's never clarified. So now he's doing these shows as Morris Day and the Time, but there's been no posts that have clarified what's happened.
Yeah. Nothing. It's worked out. We're good. Not even that. He just moved on. Like,
you haven't said, okay, well, we've worked things out, so I'm still going to be able to perform or whatever. Right. He's just started posting shows as Morris Day and the Time.
Right.
He's opening up for NPG. He's playing at some festival as Morris Day and the Time. So apparently that's not the case. So a lot of people think this is just a publicity stunt.
Well, don't know. I wouldn't think it was a publicity stunt. I just wouldn't expect that.
I wouldn't expect that either, but
you don't really know until you know. So
you don't know. There could be a bunch of stuff going on in the background that we just didn't know about. So we shouldn't be talking about it. But
right.
Again, that's why Paisley Park will never hire me. That's why the estate will never hire me. Is because you want to go there. You guys want me to be Wendy Williams on this stuff. Speaking of which, what happened to Wendy Williams? Is she ever going to come back? Well, you don't even know.
No,
I don't care. I don't think anybody cares here.
Well, sure, people care. She's a personality and she's been around a long time and done great things. So I'm sure
it's been like
people care.
It's been like it's like getting close to a year since she walked off the show, and she's had all these guest hosts that are filling her spot.
Right.
And they said she had a bunch of health issues and stuff, but
right. That's
kind of weird.
The only route I can take. I hope you're okay.
Not a topic for Funkatopia Live, even though we just talked about it for a second. It's okay.
Not really.
Hope everybody had a great time. We will see you next week. Yes, it may be another news explosion, or we might have special guests. We don't know, but we were going to be taking this week off. I decided to come back on. I said, Jeff Paige, I'm coming on. You don't have to come on. I said you have off. Sorry, it was a tease.
That's the official story, but if you want
to come on, you're more than welcome to come on. But because of the fact that I'm not going to be here for that first week of April show, which is April 5th, because I'm not going to be here for April 5th show, I decided to do this. And we'll be here this week and next week, and then we'll take the 5th off.
It's more sense.
I may try to do a show for the 5th, just to kind of do like a live show, because I'll be in the middle of the ocean. I don't know how the signal is out in the middle of the ocean.
That's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's been this has been something that's been on the books for almost a year.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, we got the Caribbean. Gonna go to the Caribbean, just for like 3 days though, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, but still, you got to do, and every bit counts. That's all, every little bit. Some people don't get that, so
yeah,
I think it's awesome.
And please email us at funkatopia@gmail.com or shout at funkatopia.com if you have any comments or whatnot about the shows. And also, please let us know if there's something specific that you would like to see us do in June. Maybe we could work with Jelly Bean and the fam and all those folks up there in Minneapolis. Reach out to Ingrid, reach out to Paul Peterson, reach out to Eric Leeds, reach out to all those folks. And maybe there's something that we can do in June. If they're not going to do a celebration, let's just do something on our own. But don't forget, I know I see a lot of you folks are going up to Minneapolis. Don't forget that Alfonso Starr is doing the Star Party at the Poorhouse in Minneapolis. I don't know if tickets are still available. I know it's Alfonso Starr and Martin Kember from Color Me Bad.
Yes.
They're doing the show at the Poorhouse in Minneapolis during that week. So be sure to look that up. Just look for Alfonso Starr, Starr. Look for those tickets, because that's going to be a lot of fun thing. The Liv Warfield show is sold out at Paisley Park. Have a good time. Make sure that you guys send me clips. I would love to. Yeah. We got a little bit of an update.
Yeah.
April. Sherry Shepard is a permanent host now for Wendy Williams. Okay.
Well, all right,
Wendy. Wendy, if you want to come on the show and talk about it, we'll make room for you.
Oh, yeah, why not? I'm sure it would be an interesting story. She's an interesting personality, for real.
Absolutely. Oh, her story is crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that her kid was a rapper. It wasn't. Wendy Williams has a child from like a famous rapper, and I can't remember it. And I didn't know that. I didn't know any of her history until I saw the made for TV movie about her. That talked about her
path, her rise, her
rise to fame, and how she found her way onto New York radio, and she has a child from a famous rapper, and
somebody. Yeah,
I can't remember. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Anyways, good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Rabbit hole. I love doing these types of shows because it kind of gives us an opportunity to be. It kind of give me an opportunity to hang out with you guys, and also, Wendy Williams' child, famous rapper. Who was it? I'll go ahead. I'm gonna look it up while we're here.
Somebody thinks Method Man.
Eric B.
Eric B. Wow.
And she has a son from Method Man. So okay. So she apparently has kids.
Hey, I ain't a joke.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and God bless all of you. We will see you next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to
knock it out. That's what we're going to do. We're going to
knock it out.
We're going to make some noise. That's what we're going to do.
Yes.
Thank you guys for coming.
We'll see you next week, and we'll let you know if anything exciting happens. I'll try to finish one of those things before next week.
Right.
I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know. Good night, everyone. We'll see you later. And,
Good night.
Good night. Funkatopia Live with your host, Mr. Christopher and Jeff Paige. Good night, everyone. We got Diamond on the center stage. Cheyenne on the ride. Make sure you tip them well.